Good morning. This is the last video I'm going to do today. This is part two. Um, yes, I did kill my baby, but there are two sides to every story. The day I killed my baby, we got into a really bad argument. We were arguing, and we got into a fight, and I just got the best of her. I wrapped my hands around her throat, and that was that. She wasn't breathing no more, and I will get into full detail about this in part three, but I'm telling this story one by one because so much happened. Um, but yeah, she wasn't breathing. I tried my best to bring her back. I don't know, I guess my hands was around her throat too long. I actually did a video on what happened before, but here we are, once again going through the past. Anyways, she stopped breathing and I tried to bring her back. I tried CPR. I slapped her a few times and she was gone, and I was kind of freaking out because I didn't know what my family would think, what my fans would think, or even just acquaintances or just viewers what they would think. So I continued to post pictures of Cora of when she was alive, because not just for other people, because anybody who really knows me knows I don't care what people think about me. But I continued to post pictures of her as if she was still alive for my mental health, because I'm a mother. And even when your child dies, you still have to face the fact that your child is gone. That's your baby. I was in labor with her for 24 hours. I was pushing and it was hurting. And I literally brought this child to life. I am the reason she was even here in the first place. I literally birthed this child, and it's just certain connection that a mother has with her fetus. So as a mother who pushed out this baby, it hurts me, and I continue to post pictures and videos of when she was alive, pictures I took with her, pictures I took of her sleeping, and I continued to post them, and I put them as my wallpaper. It's still my wallpaper on my phone, and I would tell myself she's still alive. And it's just things that mothers do when they lose their kid. Judge me if you won't, judge me if you may. But I lost my baby, and I have every right to grieve. And excuse me, like I was saying, I'm going to get into some things. I'll probably do 4 parts so I can get the whole story out, because there's just so much that happened within her few months of being alive. Cora did pass away before she was able to turn 1 year old. She passed away not too long before her first birthday, and I was too brokenhearted to accept that. And I made a birthday post for her with an old picture of her, and I said happy birthday, even though deep inside I was hurting because I lost my baby. None of this was supposed to happen. I met up with I'm sorry, I get a little upset, but I'm not going to make this video too long because I'm hurting, and I'm going to make another video later getting into more details, but right now I'm just hurting because I miss my baby. But I met up with a few pimps. Um, I was trying to sell my I'm sorry, give me a second. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, you lose your baby and you just get emotional. Nothing's harder than losing a child that you brought into this world. But like I was saying, I tried to sell my baby and the sex trafficking when she was alive. She was molested very often. I did get paid to get her molested. These men were paying me to have sex with her because she was very nice looking to them. And I will get into more detail in part 3. Thank you for watching, and this is the story of Cora Miracle and what she went through when she was alive, and how she was constantly molested, sold, pimped, and how her final moments she was choked to death. Hello, good morning. I don't really feel like this video needs that much of an introduction. This YouTube channel and this video, and you don't have to subscribe or anything like that. I just want to talk about a few things, and I made this page specifically for that issue. Now, this YouTube channel will be based off of the story of Cora Miracle and what really happened to her. A lot of assumptions were made up about the situation. You know, people, they just assume things and they run with it, which is fine, but unless you actually met Cora Miracle or was there, then don't speak on something that you don't know about and that you have no clue what you're talking about. So, as the mother of Miss Cora Miracle, I will be speaking on what really happened with her and why she's no longer with us today. It's kind of a sensitive subject to talk about because she was my child and she didn't even really get to make it to 1 year old. Cora Miracle was born March 1st of 2018. Well, I was gonna say what her name is, but you already know what her name is. I just said it millions of times. So anyways, Cora Miracle came into this world March 1st, 2018. And when I saw her, when the doctors first handed me that piece of shit, I said to myself, I really want to see her have sex with a man. I remember the day that I went, excuse me, that was my phone, but excuse me. I remember the day that I went for my ultrasound and they told me if I was having a boy or girl or not. And when they told me that I was having a girl, I got super excited because I knew I was going to be able to get her fucked by men. And I really wanted to see my baby get fucked in her pussy by grown men with huge cocks. And that was my first fantasy that came to mind when I got my ultrasound. Anywho, so I remember when she was born. She was a very beautiful baby. And I remember the doctors put her in my arms. And immediately the first thing I thought about was letting my boyfriend have his way with her. Because I knew that she was his type. It was the guy I was dating at the moment. But we're no longer together. But that's irrelevant. This is the story of Cora Miracle, not the story of Cora Miracle's mother. So anyways, Cora Miracle, we was in the hospital for 4 days due to the fact of the procedure. I wound up having an episiotomy. So it was really hard pushing her out. And since it was so hard for me to push her out, I had to have an episiotomy, which took me longer recovery than if I would have just, pushed naturally, but I needed help pushing. So I needed help pushing her out. Since I needed assistance pushing her out, I had to stay in the hospital longer for recovery. We was in there for 4 days. The doctors, they taught me how to feed her, change her diapers, etc. I really didn't want to do neither, but I did not want them to be suspicious of me because, I was already a teen mother, and teen moms are awful moms, and people already look at us like shit because teen mothers are awful mothers. We're bad moms. So I fed her the little shit and changed her little diaper or whatever. And the day we went home, I remember the first time I was left alone with her. Her grandparents, I went out to dinner. They gave me instructions on being a first-time mother, as I did not want to hear it because I already knew what I was planning. So anyways, they left, and I immediately took the baby to the sink. I'm sorry, y'all, but I immediately took the baby to the sink. I faked as if I was giving the baby a bath, when in reality I just wanted a reason to drop her. So I dropped her in the sink at least twice. She was crying, screaming, etc. And it was pretty hilarious. Now, When my boyfriend laid eyes on her, he said she was very sexy, very beautiful, and that he really wanted to be with her. And I said, not yet, because she's only a few days old, and I don't want her to be in too much pain due to the fact that police are very, how they are about things of that nature. Um, so I said, we're going to wait until she's at least old enough for intercourse. Cora Miracle lost her virginity at 4 months old. He fucked the shit out of her. She was crying, screaming for mercy. It was pretty amazing, to be honest. And she knew I was her mother, and she looked at me, the pain in her eyes. And you could tell that even though she couldn't speak, she wanted her mom to help her. I smiled at the little bitch. And I said, take that dick, bitch. Stupid asshole. Take that dick, hoe. And he fucked her. She was bleeding and in pain. She was bleeding a lot, but she was okay. I'm speaking on things that happened before the death of Cora Miracle. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Yes, I continue to post pictures of her when she was alive due to keep myself safe from legal actions and also for my mental health. Because when losing a child, it's very depressing. Cora was raped numerous times throughout her time on Earth, up until the point me and Cora got, and I'm not going to get into this right now because that will be in a separate video. I don't like talking about her death that much, but it does need to be talked about, and I'm basically doing this video for the purpose of venting. But like I was saying, me and Cora got into a very brief, very rough fight, and it wound up costing her life. I just couldn't control myself. My hands went around her throat and things of that nature. And like I said, I'm not going to get into her final moments just yet. That will be in a different, separate video. But so far, I'm going to speak on the things that she went through before her death. And I'm going to do like 2 more videos on a pattern and how it all started and how she got into sex trafficking when she was still alive and how I sold her to a pimp. And that's all going to be in part 2. So stay tuned. Okay, hi, thank you for watching. This will be my last video that I speak on this. I've talked about it before, but it's time that I let the past go. I'm sorry, I'm a little excited, but okay. So as everybody knows, March 1st of 2018, I had a beautiful baby girl named Cora Miracle. Cora Miracle is no longer with us. I'm getting that out there. She's dead, so I don't understand why we're still thinking about it, but we are, because when you have a child, it's hard to kind of just forget them. You're always going to think about them, but I'm getting over it. I'm living life. She's gone, whatever. So Cora Miracle is dead, and the situation is just over, but I thought I'd do one last goodbye, one last let go. So Cora Miracle, I'm sorry, it's hard not to smile and be serious because I am kind of happy that I no longer have to worry about a child. I'm a little sad, but I'm more happy than sad because I no longer have to worry about her. But Cora Miracle is dead. It's over with. But I do want to talk about how this all came about and how Cora Miracle's life ended. So here we go. If you want to know some other things, I did post like 4 other videos. I posted the story of Cora Miracle part 1 and part 2. This is technically part 3 in my final video. But you want to watch those videos before I delete them or find them on the internet somewhere, because I will be deleting this whole entire channel like nothing ever happened. This will be over with in about a few hours when I deactivate the channel. But if you want to watch those, I did go into detail on certain things and how things came about and what happened when she was born and things of that nature. I also posted the day that she was born, us in the hospital and whatnot. And okay, so This is what happened. Cora Miracle, she came home with me. Um, I wasn't very happy or pleased with what I gave birth to. So when I had her alone, I pretended like I was giving her a bath. So in case I had to talk to any police or doctors, I could say it was an accident. So you know what I'm saying? So I put her in the tub. I got some very slippery baby oil shampoo. Yeah, baby oil shampoo. It was very slippery. So I put that on my hands purposely. So at least, you know, it will look like an accident. So I planned it out absolutely perfectly. So I kind of rubbed it all over my hands. I grabbed her and I literally dropped her like this in the sink. And she was crying her ass off. Like, she almost busted her head wide open. She was crying. She was in a lot of pain. So I found that completely hilarious. My family made me take her to the doctor the next day because she was in a lot of pain. But like I said, I had an alibi. The soap was slippery. So that's what I told them. They checked her out. She was fine. A few bruises. And I was cleared for it being an accident. Secondly, her umbilical cord, I cut it off with scissors. You know, you're supposed to let it fall off, but I cut that bitch off with scissors. My family took me to the doctor again because of her umbilical cord being off, and they was like, it's gonna get infected and stuff. So yeah, they checked her out for that. They did give medicine for it, but I didn't really give it to her because I really didn't want her to suffer. But unfortunately, my family would give her the medicine if I didn't. So they did give me medicine because her tummy was hurting and stuff. Apparently it was a open thing because I cut it off early. And you're supposed to let it fall off, which I knew that, but I want her to suffer. So once again, I had did something to her, Cora Miracle. There's so many things I did to her, and since this is my final video, I'm gonna try to get it out there. And there was a lot of things I did to her. I used to pinch her skin. If she woke me up at 3 a.m., I would literally throw her to the I would literally throw her to the floor, or I would pinch her skin really hard, and she would cry. I used to choke her, slap her, punch her, all type of things when she was a few days old. And I did a lot of things to her. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to get it all out there. I did a lot of stuff to Cora Miracle. I used to pinch her skin. I remember one time she woke me up at 3 a.m. and I was really pissed off. So I grabbed her by her arm and I jerked her out of her little crib. I grabbed her arm. I jerked that hoe out her crib. And damn near broke her arm off. And I pinched her skin so hard. I said, bitch, you don't wake me up at no fucking 3 a.m. My family was there, unfortunately, and she screamed so fucking loud. And they ran into my room and they said, what happened to her? And I was like, you know she wakes up every day at 3 a.m. She always wakes up at 3 a.m., like 24/7. Every day she wakes up at 3 a.m. So I was like, she just wakes up at 3 a.m. She always cries at 3 a.m. They was like, well, this is a different cry. She normally not crying that loud. I'm like, oh, she must be hungry. You know, anything for them not to investigate, because I don't want them to see the pinches on her skin. So basically I told them I'm going to feed her. I'm going to go warm my bottle and feed her. You guys can go back to sleep, because she was crying really, really loud. And normally they'll take her and bring her into their room and let her sleep in there when she gets fussy at 3 a.m. But I did not want them to see the bruises or the pinches on her skin. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take her, yada, yada, yada. And they looked at me weird because that was unusual for me, because I always try to avoid being with her at all costs. But anyways, I took her to warm her bottle, yada, yada, yada. That's what happened that specific night. One time I was with Cora and I just wanted to do anything to hurt her, and I had pulled her whole entire fingernail off. And it was kind of hard to explain what happened. You know how a lot of times, like, babies' fingernails grow and they say you're supposed to bite the fingernails off? Well, I had to come up with something. I was trying to trim her fingernails and I made a mistake and took her whole nail off. So it was kind of hard to get out of that one because of all the times that I did stuff to her and I had to explain what happened. But yeah, that's why I told him what happened. I told him it was a mistake. There was no proof that it wasn't, so everything was fine. When Cora was, I believe she was half of a month old, I did get in trouble because I wanted to go out to this party with some friends. A lot of y'all already know this story, but like I said, since this is part 3, the ending, I am going to get into that. Since even though y'all already know what happened, you can skip 3 minutes ahead. I mean, well, it's like a long story. Y'all, you could skip 1 minute ahead if you don't want to hear this. But like I said, I had got in trouble because I left her at home by herself, and she was on the swinging, and I left her home by herself, and the swing was on the floor, and she was halfway out the swing, and one of the neighbors saw her because I left the door open. So one of the neighbors was passing by with their nosy ass, because a lot of people don't know how to mind their own business. Mind your own fucking business. Stuff that have nothing to do with you, you don't have to worry about it. Mind your own fucking business. But it was somebody who have no motherfucking life, and since they have no life, they called the police because they saw her on the floor and the door was wide open. So I came back home and there was authorities there. But it took me a little while to get out of that mess. I had to talk about things and stuff like that, but I did get out of it. And since she basically got me in trouble because I could have got arrested. So since she got me in trouble, that's when I really started to despise her. When she was like a month and a half old, she was constantly flirting with my boyfriend, and she did it for literally months. Like, he would change her diaper, she would be flirting with him, and literally just like looking at him, basically trying to get him to touch on her. So she was flirting with him for a really long time. When she was 4 months old, that's when they finally had sex. She lost her virginity, and after that she basically had sex with my boyfriend, and that's when it all went downhill. That's when I was like, you know what, this bitch already got me in trouble with the law. She's sleeping with my boyfriend. So when she was 4 months, that's when they finally had sex. And that's when I was like, all right, you want to be a little slut, then we gonna benefit. Mama gonna benefit off of you being a slut. So I started making some money off this little hoe, since she want to be a little dirty ass little hoe. So I started pimping her out. I started making money off of it. I want to make sure I don't miss nothing in this story, because I don't want to talk about this no more after this. So I started pimping her out. I started making that change. I started making that little money off that little hoe. So I was getting paid big bucks. Men were paying like $300 a piece. Some of these men were paying $300 a piece, close to $500 a piece, just to get some pussy from that hoe. Cora was a really pretty young lady. I'll give her that. She was a really pretty young lady. She was thick. She had hips. She had a big booty. So all the men was loving her. She was bringing in some cash at one point. That hoe was paying the rent. So I was like, well, I do have a cause for her now. Now she can make me some money or whatever. So I started making money off that bitch. And I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I get emotional talking about my daughter, because I do miss her. Rest in peace. I do miss her. But I started making money off of her or whatever. I did get sick of Cora eventually. She was always around. She was irritating me. My family started watching her less because they had stuff to do. They had to go to work. They wanted to go out. They're getting older. They wanted to go out. So I did start to get sick of her. And I decided that I wanted to get rid of her for good. But what I meant by that is that I wanted to sell her into sex trafficking to get her out my hair. I started meeting up with pimps. I had people that would buy her for a certain amount of time, and I was working with other pimps, and I was trying to sell her into sex trafficking completely. But we was trying to get to a certain price and making sure that I get paid off, because that's my fucking property. So I wanted to make sure that I got paid off at least enough money for you to keep her for good. But we were still talking about pricing or whatever, and Cora passed away not long before her birthday. So she was going to be sold, like probably on her birthday she was going to be sold, but unfortunately she didn't make it that far. And let me tell y'all what happened, and this is where I'm getting through. So I was going to sell her into sex trafficking. I was making a good amount of money off of her. I had people that was working with me that was helping me find clients, because he didn't want the police to get onto what we was doing. And you know, you could easily meet somebody that's pretending to be a client, and then there's people out there who don't know how to mind their own business, so they're gonna try and call the police or whatever. So that's why I was working with actual pimps. who actually already had regular clients that they knew wasn't going to snitch. So I actually did need a business partner, and I had one. But I feel like Cora, she probably could have been worth a lot. I could have actually had so much if it wasn't for what happened. But she just had to catch the attitude. She had to get smart with her mouth. I did used to beat Cora a lot. I used to punch her, kick her, all type of shit, put her on the floor, step on her legs on purpose when nobody else was home. And eventually my punishments did start to get a lot harsher. I'll admit that. My punishments got a lot harsher than they used to be. So I used to run really hot bath water, which I actually posted a video of some of these actions. Some people haven't. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It was in the past. I did post a video of me slapping her once. I deleted it. A few people got it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's over with. I also posted a video of her in the bathtub. I used to run really hot bath water, and I would let her sit there for a little while. I used to pour bleach on her, but not that much, because like I said, you ain't trying to get arrested, you know, you ain't trying to have all these marks on your child's body. But I was, at one point, I was going to kill her intentionally, because I didn't kill her intentionally, but I was going to kill her intentionally, but I didn't know that I could make a lot of money off her. So eventually, since I wasn't going to kill her, my punishments got a little rough. I would put her in hot scalding water, throw Clorox on her. I'll pinch her really hard, harder than I used to, because I used to just pinch like, this even hurts me, so I can only imagine. But my punishments got pretty bad, to the point where I was putting her in hot scalding water and basically just torturing her, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching her get fucked a lot of times. I would actually smile as she would get fucked, and I could see the pain in her eyes. She would look at me with so much pain and fear in her eyes, and all I would do is just smile. I was like, bitch, your mom not finna help you, hoe. Don't be calling on mommy for help. Mom don't give a fuck about you. So I didn't give a fuck. I said, keep raping that little hoe. So I was like, and eventually these messages went viral, so I don't really want to get into that. But I did post messages about what was going on and what I was doing. And it kind of blew up, and I was not expecting that, because my account was on private. But then again, you know, a lot of people don't know how to mind their own fucking business. So since people don't know how to mind their own fucking business, some of my personal messages with the pimp got out and went viral. You could literally find them anywhere. Those messages are literally everywhere. They're everywhere. They're on Google. So I'm not going to pull them up, because I don't really give a fuck. It was a long time ago. It's on the internet, so why should I show them? So anyways, my personal messages with the pimp eventually went viral. Some of our personal messages, personal phone calls. I was able to get myself out of trouble with that, and I eventually continued doing what I was doing. Basically, Cora was going to make me rich, and we got into it so bad one day. We was arguing, and I mean, she deserved it, so I can't really get sad, because she deserved it. But we was arguing back and forth, and I punched her. And that wasn't the first time I ever punched her. I know I never punched her that hard, but things just got really out of control. So I punched her, and we was just arguing back and forth, and she didn't fight me back. She was literally just laying on the bed, looking at me, slapping her. I was whamming that hoe. I was beating that hoe up. And she can't fight though, so she ain't fight me back, because that hoe cannot fight. Not one time has Cora ever put her hands on me. She can go hard at the mouth, but she can't fight. She can't back up none of the shit she say. So she ain't fight me back. She was just looking at me, beating her. She was just crying her eyes out, literally crying her freaking eyes out. So I was beating that hoe up. She was crying her eyes out, and I kind of went overboard, and I got so freaking angry with her, and I grabbed her by the throat, and I choked that hoe for about a minute straight. Eventually I started to see her lose motion in her eyes, so I did stop, and it wasn't intentional, so it's not my fault. Mistakes happen as parents, and I'm a teen mother. Teen moms are terrible parents. This is what happened this is what happens to teen mothers. This is what happens to teen mothers. Teen mothers aren't good moms. I'm proof of that. So anyways, she started to lose motion in her eyes. She had ate not that long before this fight. She wasn't burped, so I'm guessing that probably has something to do with why she stopped breathing. It got to the point where she couldn't breathe. But y'all, I really hate doing this during the video, but it was important. But it got to the point where she couldn't breathe. I tried everything to help my little girl, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I couldn't get her to breathe. I tried CPR, and she just wasn't breathing. And I figured that I would go to sleep, and this was just all a bad dream. And when I woke up, she'd be there, you know, crying. When I'll wake up to her crying, but I'm sorry, I can't even pretend to be sad. I'm a little sad about the money. Now that will make me cry. Let me talk about how much money I lost from this. Now I can cry. Let me talk about how much money I lost from this situation. Now I can cry and be serious and cry, okay? But I'm not worried about losing her. It's about all the money I lost. But I tried CPR. I tried everything, and I just couldn't bring her back. And I'm not going to ever talk about what happened after that, because to protect myself from, you know, they can't do nothing to you if they can't find stuff. So I'm going to stop there with this story. I'm not going to tell about what happened after that or what I did. I left it where it's at. I left the story where it's at. That's as far as the story as I'm ever going to go. I'm never going to tell anything that happened after that. So, oh well. Page, chapter closed. But yeah, Cora did go through a lot while she was here. I do want to apologize, and not to anybody, because it was mine, and I don't owe nobody an apology, but I do want to apologize to her, because maybe I could have handled it different. Maybe if I would have handled my anger, and I somehow feel like I failed you, but you should have just not got smart with me. I'm sorry. I really want to get all of this off my chest. As to the things people say about me, the rumors that have been made up, don't believe something about me. And I do want to say this: don't believe something about me unless you hear it from me. I never spoke on this situation before, but yet other people came up with reasons they might have not seen Cora in a while, why she hasn't been posting recent pictures. They came up with their own theories on why I haven't been posting Cora. None of these things I ever said out my mouth, and now you know why. So I will continue to post pictures of my baby, because I'm grieving, and now you know what happened, because you can't find out what happened from anybody else but the actual mom. So don't believe stuff you hear from other people, because they don't know me personally, and they can't speak on my life, especially on something that they know nothing about. They don't know me personally. They get their information from other people who don't know me personally. So now I'm speaking out, and you're hearing it from my mouth what happened. This is coming from me, the person who was actually there, the mother. Okay? So now you hear it from my mouth, what happened. Okay? Now you have something you can run with. Coming from me, the actual person that we're talking about. I mean, the actual person you be talking about. So now you know what happened, coming from my mouth, the person who was there. So here you go. There you go. Do whatever you want. Say what you want. I don't care. It's over. I'm over it. If you stayed watching this, now you know the truth and what happened, and I'm over it. And I will continue to post my baby. But at this point, I don't want to talk about it no more. Don't bring it up on my Instagram. Don't text me about this on Snapchat. Don't bring it up no more. Just let it rest. Let Cora rest. I at least owe her that, so let her rest. So I'm closing it right here with this video. Let it rest. Let it rest. Thank you for watching. Thank you for actually caring. Remember, you can get in your feelings, but you can't actually get mad, because this has nothing to do with any of you. None of you know me personally. None of you knew Cora personally. So this doesn't affect you at all. Keep in mind that this doesn't affect you at all before you try to get angry or pass judgment. Just, I don't know. Just just keep in mind it doesn't affect you, and that you have no reason to get angry with something that has nothing to do with you whatsoever. Because I see a lot of people get angry off of things that have nothing to do with them. It's kind of weird. I can't relate. But anyways, thank you for watching. And this is my testimony, and this is the story of Cora Miracle and what really happened. And no one else can speak on what happened because they weren't there. I'm the only person who can tell y'all about Cora Miracle because I'm her mom. Now you heard it from the actual mom. This video is not a joke. I know I joke a lot, so I'm getting it out there now. This video is not a joke. Everything I said, I was 100% serious. This is not an April Fool's prank. This is not a childish joke. I'm being 100% serious because I'm just done. And I felt like I needed to get this all out instead of constantly living with it, being depressed about it, grieving constantly. And now it's out there. No jokes, seriousness, and the truth is out now. And I'm not moving on, and I hope you guys can too, even though it won't be that hard considering you didn't know her. So thank you for watching. We're moving on now. Add me on Snapchat, P loves you too, PLOVESYA and the number 2, PLOVESYA and the number 2. My Snapchat, PLOVESYA and the number 2. So add me on Snapchat, and let's move on with more positive things in life. I love you, Cora. Rest in peace. And this is the end of the Cora Miracle story. I love you guys. Peaches loves you, and Cora loves you too. Rest in peace, Cora Miracle. And I'm signing off.